don't see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle, and sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on, 'cause there's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle, and sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Keep climbing, keep the faith, baby. It's all about the climb. Keep the faith, keep your faith.
All my life been hustling, and tonight is my appraisal. 'Cause I'm a hooker selling songs, and my pimp's a record label. This world is full of demon stocks and bonds and Bible traders. So I do the deed, get up and leave a climber and a sadist. Yeah. Are you ready for the sequel? Ain't ready for the latest? In the garden of evil, I'm gonna be the greatest. In a golden cathedral, I'll be praying for the faithless. And if you lose, boo-hoo. Hey, look, ma, I made it. Hey, look, ma, I made it. Everything's coming up pieces, pieces. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said, hey, look, ma, I made it. Friends are happy for me, or they're honeysuckle phonies. And they celebrate my medals, or they wanna take my trophies. some are loyal soldiers while these other thorns are rosy. And if you never know who you can trust, then trust me, you'll be lonely. Oh, are you ready for the sequel? Ain't ready for the latest. In the garden of evil, I'm gonna be the greatest. In a golden cathedral, I'll be praying for the faithless. And if you lose, boo. Hey, look, ma, I made it. Hey, look, ma, I made it. Everything's coming up aces, aces. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said, hey, look, ma, I made it, I made it. I said, hey, look, ma, I made it, I made it. I see it, I want it, I take it, take it. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said, hey, look, ma, I made it. Mama, best believe it. Mama, best believe it. Nigga must be dreaming. What a weekend dreaming. Mama, best believe it. Mama, best believe it. Nigga must be dreaming. Hey, look, ma, I made it.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain. When I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name. Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Yeah, yeah. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so lost. And I felt all of the hatred was too powerful to stop. Now my heart feel like an ember and it's lighting up the dark. I'll carry these torches for you, but you know I'll never drop. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Yeah, yeah. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. Yeah, 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 yeah.
tries are outside the line. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Oh. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you could not find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head? And this is where I grew up. I think the present owner fixed it up. I never knew we ever went without. The second floor is hot for sneaking up. And this is where I went to school. Most of the time had better things to do. Criminal record says I've broken twice. I must have done it half a dozen times. I wonder if it's too late. Should I go back and try to graduate? Life's better now than it was back then. If I was them, I wouldn't let me in. Oh, God, every memory is looking out the back door. I have a photo album spread out on my bedroom floor. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Every memory of walking out the front door. I found the photo of the friend that I was looking for. It's hard to time I do it makes me laugh. Every time I do it makes me.
don't see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle, and sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on, 'cause there's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle, and sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Keep on moving, keep climbing, keep the faith, baby. It's all about the climb. Keep the faith, keep your faith.
All my life been hustling and tonight is my appraisal, 'cause I'm a hooker selling songs and my pimp's a record label. This world is full of demon stocks and bonds and Bible traders, so I do the deed, get up and leave a climber and a sadist. Yeah. Are you ready for the sequel? Ain't ready for the latest? In the garden of evil, I'm gonna be the greatest in a golden cathedral. I'll be praying for the faithless, and if you lose, boo-hoo. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Everything's coming up pieces, pieces. The future dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I say, hey, look, Ma, I made it. Friends are happy for me, or they're honeysuckle phonies. And they celebrate my medals, or they wanna take my trophies. Some are loyal soldiers while these other thorns are rosy. And if you never know who you can trust, then trust me, you'll be lonely. Oh, are you ready for the sequel? Ain't ready for the latest? In the garden of evil, I'm gonna be the greatest. In a golden cathedral, I'll be praying for the faithless. And if you use boo, hey look ma, I made it. Hey look ma, I made it. Everything's coming up aces, aces. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said hey look ma, I made it, I made it. I said hey look ma, I made it, I made it. I see it, I want it, I take it, take it. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said hey look ma, I made it. Mama best believe it, mama best believe it. Think I must be dreaming, but awake and breathing. Mama best believe it, mama best believe it. Think I must be dreaming. Hey look ma, I made it.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain. When I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name. Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Hey. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Hey, hey. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so lost. And I felt all of the hatred was too powerful to stop. Now my heart feel like an ember and it's lighting up the dark. I'll carry these torches for you, and you know I'll never drop. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Yeah, yeah. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your.
my tries are outside the line. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Oh. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head? And this is where I grew up. I think the president owner fixed it up. I never knew we ever went without. The second floor is hot for sneaking up. And this is where I went to school. Broken twice. I must have done it half a dozen times. I wonder if it's too late. Should I go back and try to graduate? Life's better now than it was back then. If I was them, I wouldn't let me in. Oh.
Would the graduating class of 2021 please come forward and take your seats? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lakeville Memorial High School Class of 2021 Commencement Ceremony. Would you please rise to honor our nation, the graduates, and our faculty? Following the posting of colors, please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. Thank you, Ms. Miner, members of the choir, and members of the Otisville American Legion Ezra Paul Post 321. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, family, friends, Board of Education, and most importantly, graduates. We are finally here. Again, welcome to your 2021 Lakeville Memorial High School graduation ceremony. Give yourselves another round of applause, please. As I stand here looking out at you, many emotions fill my heart. The most significant is pride. Not only am I proud of your accomplishments, awards, and accolades, I am most proud of the young women and men you have become. You are my first official graduating class as principal of Lakeville Memorial High School. You will always have a special place in my heart because of that. I have been giving you advice for the past 4 years. That being said, I want to give you one more piece of advice as you go out into the world and do amazing things. I want you to remain diligent in the pursuit of success. I want you to remember that demanding times and temporary setbacks do not define us, but rather the choices we make during them does. Like Rocky Balboa said, every champion was once a contender who refused to give up. Never give up on your pursuit of success. You are all champions to me. With that, at this time, please welcome members of your Lakeville Memorial High School band and Mr. Russell. Senior band members, please take your place.
Seniors up.
Thank you, Mr. Russell and members of the band. At this time, I would like to introduce you to tonight's commencement speaker, Colonel John Hall. Colonel Hall has served in the United States Army for the past 30 years as a paratrooper, reconnaissance leader, infantry commander, combat engineer, public affairs officer, and now on the faculty of the historic United States Army War College. Colonel Hall is a 1982 graduate of Lakeville Memorial High School, where he was active in school musicals, the student council president, and an all-state wrestler. Colonel Hall earned his undergraduate degree in political science from Methodist University. He earned a master's degree in American Studies from the University of Michigan and a master's degree in leadership from the University of Hawaii. He also is a graduate of the United States Army Engineer School, Command and General Staff College, the Defense Information School, and Jungle Warfare School. Colonel Hall is a husband and father. He was also a high school theater and literature teacher, all while serving military deployments throughout the United States, Eastern and Western Europe, Central America, and the Middle East, where he saw combat in Iraq. With that, please welcome Colonel Hall.
Some 39 years ago, I spoke from this podium as student council president of Lakeville High School to give the welcome to my class's graduation. Today, I stand before you somewhat older in body, yet filled with the same spirit, always proud to be from Lakeville. It has been 52 years since I entered this school district as a kindergartner at Otisville Elementary in the fall of 1969. I am happy to share in the excitement of your graduation day and so very proud of you all. Good evening, I'm Colonel John Hall, Lakeville High School graduate, the class of 1982, and currently a faculty member at the U.S. Army War College, where we prepare the next generation of America's senior leaders. I am truly honored to be back here at my alma mater. I've lived a life that as a young boy I could never have dreamed possible. I parachuted with allied nations into Normandy, France, as we celebrated the liberation of Europe, living in a 1,000-year-old Italian city that is today a UNESCO World Heritage Site, or participating in ancient pagan fire ritual on a mountaintop in Eastern Europe, as well as meeting at summits and on battlefields addressing presidents, prime ministers, ambassadors, and generals as we work to achieve peace in some of the most troubled areas in the world. I am convinced this would not have been possible without the lessons I learned at Lakeville. My class and yours have more in common than you may realize. You see, much like you, there was a point I felt that my class was cheated out of the high school experiences we had expected. In your case, COVID-19 has stolen away your final years, your sports, clubs, prom, and homecoming. I truly feel for the loss your class has suffered. And in a way, I can identify because my junior year, due to budget cuts, all sports and activities were canceled. In response, many of my friends transferred to other schools. Many encouraged me to follow, and while I considered spending my final years at Davison or Powers, I simply could not leave the school that I had grown up in. So when we returned for our senior year, those of us who remained were determined to make our final year remarkable. I know I did. I decided I would be a part of everything that was happening at Lakeville. Not only did I participate in sports, I ran for student council president, was on the editorial board of the school newspaper, and even played a lead role as Buffalo Bill Cody in the spring musical Annie Get Your Gun. Because of this attitude, it became a magical year. Working to build our homecoming float in an old barn just south of the high school, I began dating a girl on the Queen's Court, a Columbiaville girl, who has been my partner from that day to this. And none of these things would have happened had I not believed there was something special about Lakeville. I recall a conversation with my freshman English teacher, Mrs. Clark. The student population was so large in the late 70s that she did not have her own classroom. She and Mr. Squire shared the cafeteria, which is where they taught. She on one side of the room with him on the other. Her freshman English class was my first hour. His civics class was my second. And from these two influences, I learned much of what I needed to succeed in life. Literacy and good citizenship are solid starting points for anyone. A student posed a question to Mrs. Clark, asking how students from a small school could possibly compete in the world with students from large schools with seemingly massive opportunity. Her response filled me with confidence. She told us she too attended a small country school, going on to explain how she felt intimidated when she arrived at the university. Yet, she came to realize that her rural education was in many ways superior to the students who had attended seemingly prestigious schools. Simply put, she knew more than they did. She was better prepared because of the intimate education a community like yours can provide. Across the cafeteria in our second hour was Mr. Squire, who in addition to helping everyone in our class understand how to be a good American, he also taught us the physical toughness that is to be learned on the wrestling mat. You see, Mr. Squire made us realize we were capable of competing beyond the league or the county level. Our goal from day one was to win all state honors and beyond. And then he went on to train Lakeville athletes to achieve those goals year after year. We did not limit ourselves to competing locally. He sought out the best competition across the state, and we came to realize that we could compete and win against anyone in Michigan. And because Michigan is a top-tier wrestling state, we realized we could compete and win against anyone in the nation. And there is great power in goals and preparation. At any point in my life when things have become challenging and I have questioned my ability to endure, I look back to the lessons I learned from my teachers and coaches here at Lakeville, like my 8th grade English teacher, Mrs. Cantlin, who helped this rebellious student to focus my energies. My middle school coach, Tony Shunot, and his wife, Judy, who both influenced my love of hiking. My math and psychology teacher, Jim Shabel, who with Daryl Morton helped me to win against my most challenging opponents my senior year. These giants of Lakeville all made a great impact on my worldview. And later in life, when I have been challenged by adversaries ranging from Al-Qaeda terrorists to Russian mercenaries, I have applied these lessons first learned here at Lakeville. Simply put, I learned not to be intimidated, that through preparation, we can compete and win against anyone in athletics, academics, diplomacy, or on the field of battle. Some years ago, when I was a young combat medic in the 82nd Airborne Division, Fort Bragg announced they were holding an Army Olympics. I thought, well, it'll be fun to compete and challenge myself against the 20,000 paratroopers on that Army base. I had not wrestled for some time, so when the competition began, I was somewhat apprehensive. Yet to my surprise, I remembered more than I thought I would and was victorious in my early matches. At the end of the tournament, I found myself in the finals where I was to face off with a muscle-ridden monster from New York City. He was an intimidating figure of a man, but in the back of my mind, I could hear my teachers from the past telling me, there is always a way to victory. You can defeat any opponent if you approach the match with skill and energy. And later that day, as the commanding general stepped in front of me to present me with a gold medal, he looked at me apologetically. He said, as you stepped onto the mat against that guy, I would have bet any amount of money that you would lose. I thought that guy was going to destroy you. Yet you showed that technique is superior to physical strength, and you soundly defeated him. Thank you for reminding me that there are things more important than appearance and physical strength. I suppose that there is an advantage in being viewed as the underdog. I went home that day with a renewed faith in what is possible despite outward appearances. That would be the last wrestling competition of my life, and the victory was every bit as sweet as the first so many years earlier. During the surge in 2008, I was deployed to Baghdad, Iraq, working at the Multinational Forces Iraq headquarters. For years, the Army had trained me to be a warrior, but at this point in the war, my ability to write and speak was deemed more important to bringing about peace. My job was to engage the world media. When CNN, Fox News, or the BBC called Iraq, it was my phone that rang. It was alarming during the first call when I saw my words scrolling across the bottom of the television screens that lined the walls of our compound. It was in this job that I realized the absolute power of words and language. We noted a marked decline in attacks on our coalition forces with fewer suicide bombers and revolts in the streets of Baghdad based on what we said on TV or was printed in the newspaper. We also realized because of the language barrier and lack of education, many of the people were misled by terrorists to become ideological warriors. So my boss, an admiral, strange I know in the middle of the desert, but that's another story, he had an idea. He asked me to develop a class to teach English twice a week to the local Iraqis to help them better understand English so they could get information from worldwide sources to share with their communities. The class was an immediate hit. The classroom was filled every week with men and women, Sunni and Shia, Muslims dressed in blue jeans as well as women in burqas. They all loved the class. And soon we had a group of regulars who never missed, until one day they did. Students who were never late were missing 15 minutes into the class. We were getting reports of a suicide bomber near one of the bus stations that led to our base. Then 30 minutes into the class, these students quickly walked in the door. Still dusted with debris, their torn clothing streaked with blood, they quietly took out their notebooks and began their studies. "We are so sorry for our tardiness," one of them said as he looked up briefly. These students had been attacked for coming to this class, for attempting to learn and to think for themselves. They were wounded but would not take the time to get treatment for fear of missing out on learning. There is truly great power in education. The Al-Qaeda terrorists knew this. This is why they attempted to silence these students. 100 years ago in 1920, only 18% of 15 to 18-year-old Americans were enrolled in high school, with only 9% graduating. There was little opportunity for these Americans because they lacked basic skills. Today, over 90% of students in America have the skills provided by a high school diploma. High school graduates have the ability to not only read and write and solve mathematical equations, but to reason, to think and solve problems, and have the confidence that comes from these abilities. Eventually, you too will recognize the multitude of abilities you take with you from this Lakeville education. This ability to read, reason, and make a remarkable impact wherever you take your talents. Truly, I believe the only limits in life are the ones we place upon ourselves. What you do from this day forward is only restricted by the limitations of your imagination and determination. You are prepared to do anything and be anyone your dreams and efforts allow. So I ask you all to go forward and make this world a better place for your efforts. I look forward to seeing the great deeds of your life. One day you will look back proud that all you have achieved began here in this Lakeville community. I know I could not have asked for a better start to life than the one I received right here. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Hall. Now it's my honor to call Micah Balderman to the stage. He earned an incredible 3.986 cumulative grade point average.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone who is here to share in our graduation ceremony and to partake in this joyous occasion. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Micah Balderman, and I have the second highest GPA for the Lakeville class of 2021. Over the past few months, I've realized how thankful I am to have this school community around me. Every single one of my teachers has gone above and beyond to help ensure that I have the most positive learning experience possible. I'd like to thank the Lakeville Schools community for doing everything they can to make this year as close to a normal one as possible. I'm also grateful for the many friends and classmates who I've been able to share these last few years with. Most of all, I'd like to thank the parents and other adults who've made this possible for all of us. I wouldn't be where I am today without the love and support of my parents. The first thing I'd like to talk about tonight is love. Not romantic love, but supportive love. Love in which someone is always there for you. One of 4 Greek words for love is the word philia, which, when translated, means brotherly love or friendship. I think that philia describes a lot of the relationships I've been able to build at school. A lot of the times, when we think about school, we think about learning and the boredom of waiting for classes to end so we can go home. But we forget about the more important things that we've learned here. We've learned how to make friends, how to build relationships, and how to care for other people. We've learned what philia can be. This is not to say that the knowledge we obtained here isn't important, but how often do we really use y equals mx plus b? What we do need to use often would be love, philia. Imagine a really difficult situation that you've gone through. Now think about how other people treated you when you were going through that. Did they treat you with love and grace? Or did they treat you with indifference and judgment, or maybe even hate? If people treated you well in your difficult time, imagine how much harder it would have been if they were indifferent to your problems and brushed you off as if you were worthless and weak. If people treated you poorly during your difficult time, imagine how much easier it would have been if they embraced you, supported you, and made you feel valued and cared for. We have the power to be either of these 2 things in people's lives. We can either choose love or we can choose hate. There's no in between. Indifference is not love. We are the future, all of us. We have an enormous amount of power and influence over our world. We have the opportunity to use our influence and our power to lead others in a positive direction. And this is a collective effort because no one can do this alone. We need communities full of grace, understanding, listening, and patience. We must create a culture in which we love those around us, not hate them. A culture in which we forgive others for their mistakes and not hold grudges. Whether we like it or not, this is an intentional decision that we have to make. Remember this. Even after making a decision to lead with love, we will fail, and that's okay. As we get back up, we'll have others who will show love to us when we refuse to reciprocate. To the class of 2021 and everyone here, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Fred Rogers. Love isn't a state of perfect caring. It's an active noun like struggle. To love someone is to strive to accept that person the way he or she is, right here and now. Thank you.
Thank you, Micah. Now it is my pleasure to call Charlotte Barron to the stage. She earned a perfect 4.0 cumulative grade point average.
Hello. As stated by the wonderful Mr. Dawkins, my name is Charlotte Thruna Barron, and I am ranked first in the 2021 graduating class of Lakeville Memorial High School. I'd first like to congratulate all of my fellow graduates for making it to this event. I can't be the only one who's surprised by the passage of time. It seems like just yesterday we were peeling glue off our hands or lining up for recess. I'd also like to thank all the lovely staff at Lakeville Memorial High School for making our experience these last 4 years much easier for us. And lastly, I'd like to thank all the parents who put up with our shenanigans these past 18 years, especially my own grandparents, mom and dad. Moving on, I'd like to confess that when I realized I would have to give a speech at graduation, I immediately wished I was a couple ranks lower. That being said, I'd appreciate if everyone could bear with me for another 2.5 minutes. As a kid, I'd watch Disney Channel shows like High School Musical, Wizards of Waverly Place, and Ant Farm. I was always so excited to finally be a freshman at my own high school, but these shows left out the stress of exams, the hot classrooms, the mediocre lunch food, and the obnoxious underclassmen. Nothing about our high school experience was worthy of a Disney Channel original movie. But now that I'm finally standing here on this podium, I already missed those tiled halls in the athletics program, no matter how many games we may have lost, and there were quite a few. Now that we're finally leaving, I hope I'm not the only one who looks at the future with uncertainty and fear. It can be scary to leave behind the last 4 years of our lives and enter the world as adults. Being in the same position as many of you here, I feel I'm a poor candidate to give advice, but here it is anyway. On my cap, I've written the words ad meliora, which translates from Latin into toward better things. Wherever each of you go in the next stage of your life, trust that it's better than what you leave behind. But not everything we leave behind is bad. Our class has accomplished so much this year. The girls' volleyball and basketball team both won districts, something that hasn't been accomplished for the past 25 to 30 years. Our wrestling team also won districts for the 3rd year in a row. Our class also finally got our prom, thanks to the hard work of our staff and student council. And we also dealt with a whole pandemic and still came out the other end with a diploma. If we each got $1 for every day we had to quarantine, well, we wouldn't really have to worry about student debt so much. I'd especially like to congratulate all the online students who had to go through the last 2 semesters with little help from teachers and a lot of self-motivation. Props to all of you for making it to this day. Every single person here should be proud to walk this stage. Graduating seems like a simple task now that we're here, but let's not forget all the hours of school and lectures that we had to go through for a fancy piece of paper. I'd like to end my speech with a quote from C.S. Lewis, the author of Narnia. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Once again, please welcome members of your Lakeville Memorial High School Choir and Miss Minor. Senior choir members, please take your place. Thank you, Ms. Miner, and members of the choir. At this time, I would like to take the opportunity to recognize our honor students for all of their hard work. Silver honor recipients, please stand. Silver honors represent and earn 3.0 to 3.49 grade point average. Gold honors recipients, please stand. Gold honors represent and earn 3.5 to 4.0 grade point average. Please give them a hand. All right, now for the good stuff. The time you've been waiting for. I am honored to begin the presentation of the class. So, by the power vested in me by the state of Michigan, as principal of Lakeville Memorial High School, and with the concurrence of the faculty, I present these candidates for graduation to Mr. Lytle, Superintendent of Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Dawkins. I will take a moment before I continue the presentation to our school board to acknowledge and give a few words, but I promise they'll be brief, similar to the things that you deal with in life every day. Moments, those captured moments that you have, the result of a moment is either positive or negative. I deplore you to take the positive and remember it for always, and the negative and learn from it and move on. When I talk about the speed of things and change and everything that happens, it happened to me as I was preparing for the speech today. I have it written, but you're going to see that I'm not really going to read from it. It's longer than what you guys need to know, and it's more time than what you guys want to come across the stage to get what you guys are really after. So, we're going to cut to the chase. I started on Google like all good people do, and I looked up speeches for superintendents for class of 21 and ended up going to YouTube. And then I ended up on YouTube watching some videos of motivational speeches. And then pretty soon my feed started in with things like barbecue recipes. And then it turned into fly fishing. And then it turned into tying flies. And then I'm like, man, I'm way off track. And in that moment, I'm like, well, it was kind of positive, so I'm going to hang on to it for a little bit. Pretty soon it led me to Instagram. And then I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I started liking a couple pictures here and there. And then from the class of 2021, you took 3 hours of my life by the thing called TikTok. Who knew that 1 minute captures would keep somebody occupied for that amount of time, and yet that distracted from anything they were trying to accomplish in a moment, in a day, in whatever term of life that you are looking at, which did revert me back to capture those moments. Parents, here's one of the things that I have come across to be one of the traditions that I do at commencements. For those first-time parents, if this is your first graduate crossing the stage, give yourselves a round of applause. First child. And now it gets a little more exciting with this one. For parents, if this is your last child crossing the stage, congratulations to you all. And for the class of 2021, as Mr. Dawkins shared that you are his first graduating class, you are my first cohorted graduating class. You are the class that welcomed me in as superintendent 4 years ago. You are the class that I got to watch start the tail end of your 8th grade year. We'll call that a little transition. But as far as 9, 10, 11, and 12, I've had the ability to watch you guys grow, change, and turn into the young ladies and gentlemen that you are today. When you heard from your classmates' speeches to a distinguished alum speech today, to know that out of Lakeville, though we can see and say, man, we're just a small district, don't use that word just in front of Lakeville. Remove the word just. We are Lakeville, we are proud of ourselves, and we are going to make a difference in the world that we live in. Whether it is in our 3 villages of Otisville, Columbiaville, or Otter Lake, in the state, the United States, the world, you will have an impact. And it is not because you are just from Lakeville, but it's because you are from Lakeville. Congratulations, class of 21. And now at this time, as superintendent of Lakeville Schools, I recommend to you, Dr. Brandon McDowell, that this class of 2021, having completed all the given requirements for graduation, be given their diplomas.
It is my great honor that on behalf of the Board of Education for Lakeville Community Schools to accept this class of 2021 for graduation. With the class of 2021, please prepare yourselves for your diplomas.
Richard Craig Anderson III.
Alexis Eugenia Andrews.
David Jaron Balderman.
Micah Daniel Balderman.
Charlotte Thorena Barron.
Isaiah David Winfield Barton.
Robert Howard Bennett, Jr.
Sebastian Max Behringer.
Emma May Bush Heller.
Isabel Nadine Campbell.
Brendan Scott Schaefer.
Alexis Nadine Christopher.
Benjamin Conrad Denzer.
Erica Nicole Davis.
Jessica Lynn Doherty.
Emily Ann Downing.
Chase Thorin Foster.
Haley Marie Gittry.
Ethan Michael Goad.
Dakota Connor Griffith.
Gage Michael Griffith. Caleb Leroy Griswold.
Aubrey Lee Gritzinger.
Lucas Allen Harvey.
Reagan Elizabeth Hess. Taylor Julianne Hiltz.
Calvin Paul Hugler.
Zane Austin Jobson.
Tristan William Campfer.
James Bud Key.
Savannah Dawn Kusky.
Riley Thomas Ladd.
Brianna Len Lalonde.
Haley Christine LeMay.
Let's go,
Nicole Katie Lambert.
David Allen Lash III.
Jedwin Elizabeth Lee.
Tyler Joseph George Legaway.
Elizabeth Jean Lehman.
Tiffany Nicole Lindeman.
Emily Renee Linson.
Nicholas Allen Lutz.
Brianna Marie Maxuga.
Isaac Marquand.
Tanner Scott Martin.
Dylan Tyler McDowell.
Vance Michael McFarland.
Divine Star McKay.
Jacob Michael Meek.
Paul Joseph Abdul Murray.
Spencer Graham Nevis.
Isabel Claire Newton.
Stephen Michael Nixon.
Sophia Marie Ortiz.
Jasmine Annette Palmer.
David Lawrence Polkinghorn III.
Cody Anthony Piles.
Nevaeh Angelique Ramirez.
Jeffrey Paul Ratu Jr.
Chase Michael Rakowski.
Tanel Shakai Schmeier.
Shaylee Marie Scott.
Kyle Ronald Seeley.
Samuel Thomas Selesky.
Wesley Joseph Simmons.
Abigail Joyce Spencer.
Alicia Grace Stanley.
Alexis Carol Stoner.
Alyssa Marie Sturgill.
Rachel Ann Swantek.
Brooklyn Elizabeth Sweeney.
Hannah Cheyenne Sweeney.
Devin Adam Tebby.
Ethan Robert Tenbush.
Chance Brian Thomas.
Gabriel Brian Thrower.
Brianna Rain West.
Jacob Quentin White.
Carly Ray Williams.
Jaylee Jean Wilson.
Leanne Marie Woolley.
Trinity Elizabeth Wooster.
Aiden Charles Lee Wright.
Nathan Michael Young.
Jaden Scott Zinn.
And now I am honored to call Rachel Swantek to the stage for the presentation of the class of 2021 and moving of the tassel.
Would the class of 2021 please rise? It is with great pride that I present the newest alumni of Lakeville Memorial High School. Please move your tassel from the right to the left side of your cap to signify your status of alumni. We are now graduates.
Thank you, Rachel. This concludes tonight's ceremony. Thank you all for attending, and congratulations, class of 2021.